if you're someone who struggles in life, I know what it's like. I'm right there with you. If you had a bad childhood, I know what it's like. I'm right there with you. Look, my name's Eric Green. I am on a show now called Advertising LA. The show is being created right now. We're actually in the production process, so it's not out available for everybody yet. But if you've watched my channel before, you've probably seen the advertisements for it. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. But one of the things I just want to talk to you about today is, your current situation doesn't necessarily have to be your permanent situation. And I know there's a lot of people out there that feel like, this is how my life is right now and this is how it's always going to be. Things are never going to change. And that is not the case. I was someone who struggled, the first half of my life. My first half of my life was turmoil. I was my biggest enemy. I was my own worst enemy. I didn't need enemies when I had myself, because I would sabotage myself quicker than anyone else could. So if you're someone who does this, it doesn't always have to be like that. Now, I have a show that's being created around me and my business and my family. I live in Beverly Hills. I have a nice life. I drive nice cars. I do nice things. I eat out at fancy restaurants. I do all these things that I never thought was possible in my life until I started really, educating myself. And it wasn't until I really educated myself in the field of sales that's really when my life started changing. That's when my life changed dramatically. No amount of school, no amount of universities out there, anything could really teach me what I learned when I started learning sales and psychology of selling. I understood that there's a certain way of doing things that, I used to think that humans were these super unique creatures, and we all have super unique qualities, and I'm this super unique person. And truth be told is, after I started studying sales and psychology, I realized that we're not unique. We all fall spell to the same patterns. And if you can actually identify these patterns and you can actually put these patterns into place, and you can use these patterns when you're communicating with people, then you're better off getting the things that you want in life. Now, is there some sort of trickery to this or something like that? No, absolutely not. You're not going to be able to sell, something to someone that they don't need. That's not what's going to happen. And you should never try to sell something to someone they don't need. Why would you do that? I hear people saying things like, oh, I could sell ice to an Eskimo. Why would you sell ice to an Eskimo? That Eskimo has plenty of ice. Sell him something he needs. Sell him some mittens. Sell him a coat. Sell them something they need. You don't have to sell garbage to people. You can find products that people actually need. And that's going to be number one. If you can find a need, if you can solve people's problems, then people will pay you to solve their problems, because people don't want to deal with problems. They would rather pay someone and say, here, you deal with it, and I'll give you money, you just deal with it. That's a great thing. That's a great thing for you. So if you're someone who struggles in life, that's where I would start. I would start with 1, sales. 2, how can I solve people's problems? What can I do to solve people's problems? So again, like I was saying about myself, I grew up, pretty much by the time I was 15, my mom gave me away 3 times, okay? So I understand what it's like to have a bad childhood. Not only did my mom give me away 3 times, but the people she gave me away to usually would give me away to someone else within a year or 2, or maybe 3 years. It just depended on, who I was with at the time. I got jumped around between, family like, my grandfather and, grandmother on the other side of the family, and family, friends, just random people throughout the years. So I grew up with a insecure mindset of how could anyone ever love me or care for me, because my own mother didn't even love me or care for me. Now my father died at the age of 11, so I wasn't, give it away to him or something like that, because he wasn't here. He couldn't have done anything about it. So I was pretty much on my own. And this happened up until the age of 17, when I finally ran away from home when I was living with my grandfather in Detroit at the time. So, I've literally been on my own since I was 17 years old, and it's not like, I had some sort of guidance from anybody, or I had some sort of, people behind me who are, just like, hey, you can do it, you can do it. I never had any of that. Most of my family were alcoholics, or, it just had struggles of their own. I had uncles and stuff who were doing good, but they had their own lives. They had their own kids to worry about. So I never had anybody to really help me out. So this was something I had to figure out all on my own. So what I'm telling you to hopefully help you realize is you can figure this out on your own too. The best place to start, I feel like, if you're someone who doesn't have any guidance, is in sales. Start learning sales. Start learning how to communicate with people. Start learning how to call people up and try to pitch your products to them over the phone. Learn how to, go door knock. Go learn how to door knock businesses. Go learn how to door knock residential homes. Go learn how to just communicate with everyone you can, because the people who are going to be the highest paid are going to be the ones who can communicate at the highest levels. So if you can do these things and you can solve problems for people, you are going to be leagues ahead of everyone else. That's where I would start. I would start reading books on people that, are in the fields that you want to be in and are accomplishing big things in those fields. That's another place that I would start. So just know that your situation, just because it is what it is right now, it doesn't always have to be that way. And it won't always be that way, because drive and ambition beats everything almost every single time. So I would rather have more ambition and more drive and more hustle and outwork everybody than being the smartest person in the room, because the smartest person in the room usually is probably the brokest. So I hope this information is helping everyone out there. I hope everyone is doing wonderful. I hope you're not someone struggling right now, but if you are, don't worry, it will cease. It will come to end. This too shall pass. All good things come to an end. All bad things come to an end too. So there's a yin and yang to everything. So if you would, please share this information. You never know who needs to hear it. If you got any value from it, please like this and, follow my channel and look out for more content. Thanks for watching.